So the final day of the series of 12 Days of Aries from the Kabbalah Center of New York is today. The last sign is Pisces. It's my sign. It's my astrology sign. And as I've mentioned, I believe in almost every video, this is just a comfort zone. It's like the default setting of where the gravity is, and it's always possible to see in a different way, hear in a different way as we grow. So we have, for example, our star sign where we have our gravity, but then all the planets inside also, like in the inner edges of the outer, in the inner of the outer. So still inside of our system, where they all were, and not only that, but all of them. And then if we have family members, loved ones, partners, children who, coworkers who we may even be two systems interacting, and there could be a lot more energy that's different. So it's never like 100% for you a limit. If anything sounds like, oh, that's really me, that we're stuck that way, it just means that it's, for example, a way that we can find ourselves when we may not feel like ourselves, and then from there move forward or up. And one quote I heard from Sarah Esther Crispy, I don't know how to say her last name, Crispe, is that when you take a step forward, your other foot follows. So sometimes it's like a lazy leg following, but that's a real blessing to think of it that way, that you take one step forward and then the other foot comes. So it's like we might drag it forward, even if we feel like some parts of us have extra gravity there and it's hard to do the different thing. But also we have to remember that there's fire, air, water, and earth signs intermingled. So we always get behind us something different and in front of us something different, so that there's never too much. It's not like a fire sign following a fire sign and there's just like, you need to put the fire out. There's always going to be water, earth, air, fire, alternating. So Pisces challenge rectification is feelings. When Pisces accesses the true soulful energy, feelings can be channels to transmit positive energy. Unevolved or externally controlled Pisces will go up and down with feelings, for example, good or bad, like I feel lousy, I don't believe in myself, which means I don't believe in myself. But if I feel great, I believe in myself. And rather than the self is not the feelings. So if energy is not supposed to be dependent on transient feelings, then we have to have a deeper sense of motivation to even get through those feelings rather than identifying with the feelings. And so I want to also say one other comment. 12 days of Aries means that these are the 12 months of the year. Passover happens on the 14th day, Pesach, and that's liberation. And we get more light than we even, we get all the downloads, we get all the software coding, and then we have the 12 months of the year for it to integrate. But the first 12 days, then you have the 13th day is that pre-holiday, 13th and 14th. So these 12 days actually correspond to the whole year. So a whole month of Pisces happens for everybody. So even though it's fun for me to talk about it because my sign, this applies to everyone. So the vulnerability, especially during the month of February 20 till March 20, which is really the Jewish month of Adar. Remember, the lunar months are cycles. The solar year is just the days, 365 days. So every day is a cycle, but so is every month. So the moon is every month, and a whole month of each cycle. So Pisces are vulnerable to the victim complex when we're not having happy feelings. I might say we, because I'm identified somewhat with the Pisces sign because I'm being born in that, so born into it. The work is to elevate, transform, and excel the feelings regardless of if they're from our own body, the environment, and that already seems to share a lot about Pisces, that we can absorb feelings from the environment. Not letting feelings define us so that they break us, empty us, or drain us, the real us. And then blaming others for feelings, then sometimes also, or eventually manifesting even depression because of not feeling in control or becoming dependent on others who alter our feelings, drugs, alcohol, trying to change the feelings, bury or avoid feelings. However, we can choose to be present, less than, sad, low energy, broken, hurt, even if, and allowing ourselves to bear witness to them and then stay enough to see the thoughts that accompany and yield these feelings. Like when I'm feeling less than, and then like lack of worth, and then feeling like the shriveling feeling, and then seeing what's causing me to do that, what's causing me to shrink into myself, what's making me feel small or like I shouldn't be here. And then we kind of get to the thoughts, and instead of reacting, we say it's okay to feel this way, it's a temporary feeling. And that's only possible when we are ready to have a better internal dialogue because we're not reacting. I just heard on a video today from, I think, Peter Linden, that responsibility, and I heard this many years ago, and it's always, every day we should remember that the ability to respond is an ability. It's a disability to react. It's an incapability. So being mindful, is to be able to self-soothe is a skill that we can learn. It's an ability that we can cultivate, each one individually, and remind ourselves that the light is with us even in the dark. Like, as the bad feeling is passing, I'm not the feeling, I'm the one feeling the feeling. And the feelings are making me believe that I'm the shriveled up one. But actually, it's like thoughts about how things will go, maybe wanting to hide, maybe a mistake, maybe not knowing how to respond to a situation and reacting in this way. So seeing the pain as a vessel to let even more light in, instead of, and like the brokenheartedness is that I'm not in control, I don't have the strength or the energy, but this state actually allows us to access even more light than someone who feels like a superficial, natural, and I put in quote, natural confidence, because it could be just, it never gets deep. It could be they get thrown off the minute they lose their job, they, or something, or their home, or whatever, they lose it. So here it is about, for Pisces, it's a lot about feelings. So if we can say in our limited current experience, I feel broken or I feel low, but I know the light's here and never stops shining, I am the light, then we don't let our mind judge ourselves or our feelings or other people, which is causing or affecting the feelings, or future based on current feeling, that the future will be based on the current feelings, and then we don't lose hope. And that is what can cause the shriveled feeling. Like I said earlier, it could be like, oh, it's not going to get better. This is how it always is. And then there's a shrinking in. I don't want to live in the world like this. And that's a very strong emotion. But it all starts from the thought, which is like which the other side of it, or the helpful side of it, would be, while I'm going through low feelings, I'm still going up. Even though Satan, or the dark side, is the temptation to believe it will get worse. So obviously, even a false belief that we have no choice is an illusion. I just said earlier, well, it's an ability. Everyone has the ability to respond, but like we can choose our thoughts, and we can believe in our thoughts. And when it's too watery, our mind is searching for better feelings, could be chaos. We can let the feeling be. So to let a feeling be, even while it's coming and going, without holding it and twisting it and becoming it, is to be present and focused, despite that cyclical up and down process of feelings. We can find the staying power in choosing thoughts, creating reality, and trusting the process to be a vessel. Ending, denying, avoiding feelings, or trying to fix them will prevent us from getting the messages of the energy in motion, which is emotion. And this prevents us from reading a barometer, which the feelings are. They tell us, like, I'm not, shining the way that I want to, or I'm not being seen the way I want to, or life doesn't appear the way I want it. And then we learn a lot of valuable information. Information is what we need for transformation. Waves of sadness don't need to be pushed or repressed out of fear. It'll be bad, or it will make me go dark. We can allow the sadness to be there to teach us a lesson. So this is the responsibility. The same way that a parent who's a regular person has to become responsible for a small human and their emotions and everything, is the way we have to do it for ourselves. We start to parent ourselves. The Pisces is like becomes the self-parenting expert, because the emotional, it's like, let it be a text from God, talk to it, acknowledge it's there to help us, cleanse us, to learn, to elevate, to become more self-aware and empathetic and grow. Not less emotions, but to become empathetic, like to be able to share feelings with people, to connect with people, to become bigger than just ourselves, to connect with community, family, partnership, even romance. And we can be open to the blessing of particular feeling is supposed to channel into our life. And that's the ability to respond. The ability to respond is to be the one who says, I am not the feeling. I can respond to this feeling by taking care of myself. And that's why so many people come to Pisces for care. Pisces is the last life, potentially. It's like is the potentially the last life for somebody. Where you can complete your rectification. It's the kabbalistic concept, because it's the 12th sign, the last sign. And when we identify with the feelings, we forget that all is for the good, everything's for the best, it's meant to be. And this is why Pisces might be known for addictions and for troublesome relationships, because of trying to distract or have some control over these emotions, or hopelessness. The ability to channel the feelings' energy without judging them will eventually be the same mechanism, the same mechanism to channel love, self-love, divine love, which is also like shared love, other love, which is compassion and empathy. The right thoughts bring these feelings, and it's really a channel of endless blessing. There's this quote about how the broken heart is always able to channel the infinite. A closed heart is not. And a closed heart could have resentment, bitterness. So we have to let the feelings serve us rather than an addictive relationship to low feelings in our life. Like every time it comes, this time I'm going to become one with the sadness. It will not rule me. I'm going to be, like, in a strange way, to be able to to be able to experience the sadness is to be able to experience, like, love is pain. Not that I'm saying that love is always painful, but the ability to respond to pain is the same Pisces strength as the ability to respond to love. So Pisces is known for a sweet and giving nature, and the ability to see the good in everyone and to see through the illusion of the 1% material world. Seeing the light even in the dark. The work is not either going to laziness or to dreamland, like fantasy world, outside of this world, or to become overly emotional. And we have to tell ourselves it's safe for me to give love and to share and getting hurt is sometimes part of the process. And when we not getting stuck in space of setting or settling, really, like setting ourselves up, like settling in a stagnancy to not do, just, rather we connect to the perfect reality through the chaos. By always seeing the silver lining. The greatest level of humility is in Pisces. But it can also manifest as a lack of desire or motivation. Like, why me? I'm not better than anyone else. Why should I teach? Why should I serve, in this way, with this power? It makes it hard to go out of the comfort zone to give of the self. And the challenge is, obviously, in the boundaries, it's a water sign. So there's oversharing, lack of clear definition, where one person's process begins or ends and our own does. We can get taken advantage of. So Pisces really don't have a problem with sharing or compassion, but have a problem with saying no. So finding joy in giving and taking care of others is sometimes how Pisces can have trouble seeing our true value and tapping into the connection of who we really are past all the outside caring and sharing with everyone else, for who we really are, to feel valued. And that's, past all that is the physical external chaos, is the true soul's core, its roots. And the angel of the month is called Rumiel. And Pisces can cultivate a realm of endless peace, love, goodness, courage, strength, grace, beauty, pure unity, and merging. I hope that this series was interesting for you, and we'll continue tomorrow with other materials. Thank you. Bye.